Hello people of YouTube. That which you saw right there was the book that started it all for me. Well, actually no, that's a lie. It wasn't the book, it was the author, Mr. Hal Elrod. Welcome back. This is video number 69 of my daily vlogs. 69. And approximately 70 days ago, actually no, it was longer than that. It was 70 plus a week. Let's call it 77 days ago. I started watching a video where Tom Bilyeu was interviewing Mr. Hell, or Mr. Elrod, more correctly, on his show Impact Theory. Now, it's quite a long video. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes long, and the first hour or so, thereabouts, I was watching in the gym whilst on the treadmill or the bike, whatever. I was in the gym, so just having it on in the background, and it was all very interesting. In that first hour of the video, there wasn't much that happened that really hit home, whatever. Then later on that same week, I was back at the gym, again on the bike or the treadmill or something, and I figured, well, this video is still yet to be completed. I might as well stick it back on. And I remember it being something right around the 1 hour 22, 1 hour 25 mark in the video that my attention was first really grabbed. And this is something I've mentioned before, something that Mr. Hal Elrod, Mr. Elrod, mentioned, and it was the fact that we as humans have this brilliant ability to dismiss anything that we think we know anything about, because the way we work is we hear about something and then we don't necessarily understand how it works, so we dismiss it. On top of that, 9 times out of 10 we don't go and try it for ourselves. Now, this is especially true and very specifically true in the field of self-help, personal development, psychology, education, financial management. The list goes on, I'm sure. Those are just the ones that come off the top of my head. There are so many, can you call them bits of advice? So many pieces of advice and quotes and proverbs and other things that people can recite and remember by some magic, because anyone and everyone has always got some advice to give you. Like one of the most common ones, when you say, oh, I can't afford to buy a house. People's input is, well, just save up some money, get a better job, and then you'll be able to buy a house. Well, funny enough, it isn't quite that straightforward, because what if saving the money isn't an option, or getting a new job isn't an option? But I digress. The thing is, the people who spew that information, they have never tried it for themselves. And it's not because they've not had to. Chances are it's because they don't understand it, or they don't believe it to work, because they've already dismissed it. So what Hal said was, when we learn of something and then maybe we spend an hour or a day researching that thing so that we know a little more, we then start thinking about it very logically, because, that's just the way we are. We analyze everything, overanalyze everything, and we come to this untested, unexperimented conclusion that it doesn't work. So one good example is meditation. The majority of the world are skeptical towards meditation because the majority of the world are aware of meditation, and as a result it is dismissed. So how it happens is, let's take our imaginary friend John. John is aware of meditation. Maybe even if one of his friends meditates regularly and usually says to John, you should try it sometime, it will improve your life. Now, in John's mind, a very logical man, he thinks, but how is sitting still for 5 minutes every single day, trying to clear my mind, going to help me? I just don't see the link. Or should I say, John doesn't see the link. So the idea of meditation gets dismissed. And the same goes for all other practices around personal development, self-help, psychology, money management, life coaching, you name it. So, in that interview between Tom and Hal mentioned this thing. He explained it in a way much better than I just did. He explained it in a way that it really clicked for me. And I thought to myself, well, there's a ton of things that I've learned about over the years, and I've never really tried any of them consistently. Like affirmations, that's something I've come across a few times loosely via Tony Robbins. Visualizations, that was probably the first time, the first practice that I was exposed to at the age of around 16 or 17, when I watched the video version of The Secret. Anyone else who's ever watched that probably has a dream board. yeah. So up until that point, I'd obviously had a knowledge of a few things, but the way I looked at it was, I know of these things, my life hasn't changed, so they must not work. And that's what Hal said. That's how most people tackle these practices, these disciplines, let's call them that. They build up small knowledge of these practices and say the same thing to themselves. I've heard of it, I know a little about it, my life has not been impacted by it, so it doesn't work. And then you just happily carry on in your miserable life, not living it to its full potential. So, thank you yet again, once more, to Mr. Hal Elrod and his Miracle Morning for opening my eyes, for making it click for me in a way that meant that I will start and get my life in order. Now, obviously I'm 70 days into this, and admittedly I've not been following the teachings of this book to a T. Did try a few times, haven't yet, not consistently. That's the key, consistency. Because in all fairness, I've only just started reading this today, so I will learn more from it over the coming days and see where it takes me. Because obviously, until now, I have severely digressed from doing these practices in the morning. I tend to do them late at night, like it is now. It's nearly midnight yet again, which is not good, because it usually gets to this time of night, and as you can hear, my throat's dry again. I'm tired. My eyes are hanging. So naturally, clue's right there. Morning. Do it in the morning. And one of the first things that he says in the book that he learned was that how you start your day is how the rest of your day goes. So if you start your day disciplined, with high energy, feeling motivated and inspired, the rest of your day will follow suit. So that's where I've been going wrong mostly. I'm waiting until the evening to carry out some personal development, and quite frankly, that's a very arse about tit way of doing it. So, need to kick it up a gear. Anyway, that'll do it for video 69. I will see you tomorrow.